Welcome to the Undisputed podcast. I'm your host, Joy Taylor. On today's show, can Dak Prescott rebound from his tough season with the Cowboys? Plus, Skip and Shannon break down Joe Platt's latest mock draft. And how much pressure is on LeBron and the new-look Cavaliers to win it all? Skip, Shannon, let's get to it. Let's get started with Dak Prescott. Dak's numbers took a step back this season after throwing just 4 interceptions as a rookie. He threw 13 this past year. Former NFL quarterback Ron Jaworski said several factors could have played a role in that, including the struggles of the offensive line, a lack of explosive plays by the receivers, and Ezekiel Elliott's suspension. But he said some of the issues fall on Dak himself. Jaw said, I think Dak started to lose some confidence. When Dak loses his confidence, like all quarterbacks, you lose a little bit. You're not willing to pull that trigger. I've always felt year 2 defenses now have studied you year 1. They know everything that you do. They've got 30 guys in the corner watching the tape, and they're going to make you play your weakness. And they forced Dak to do some things he was not comfortable doing. He did not play as well as he can play, but I know the guy has God-given talent to be a terrific quarterback. Shannon, do you agree?
No, I don't believe Dak Prescott. And knowing him and talking to him the little bit that I have, Skip, I don't think Dak Prescott lost any confidence. I think he lost confidence in the guys around him when he see they couldn't make the plays that he expected them to make, especially from the previous year. You mentioned it, Cole Beasley. He was not the same Dak's rookie year as he was last year.
What happened to it? Where what? Cole, did he play last year? Seriously.
He did. And now you really could call him Beasley.
Yeah.
Dez is a shell of himself. He's not that guy that commanded that big contract. He has not fulfilled his obligation living up to that contract. I love Jason Witten. He played the position that I played for a number of years, Skip.
Yeah.
But he's not that guy that's going to change the game. He's not a Gronk. He's not Kelsey. He's not Ertz. He's not that guy. Will he move the sticks? Absolutely.
Will he run after catch?
Not
Probably
really.
not.
And here's the thing. They built this team around Zeke because when Tony Romo had his greatest season and the Cowboys looked like a Super Bowl contending team, 2014, DeMarco Murray rushed for over 1,800 yards. Tony Romo was second in the MVP voting. And this is, okay, moving forward, this is what we're going to do. So what do? They go out and get Ezekiel Elliott. They're expecting Tony Romo to play. Dak comes in, he plays unbelievable. Skip, yeah, the offensive line did not play as well. They got, 3 of the top 25 players. Not offensive linemen. Their offensive line, 3 of those players are top 25 players, according to the Pro Football Focus. And what happened is Dak, I don't think Dak lost confidence, Skip. I thought he tried to press too much. He tried to do things. He tried to force balls because he's like, I got to make this play. I don't have Zeke. I got to make this play. And then when the guys didn't make the plays for him, now all of a sudden he's pressing even more. Skip, in Atlanta, okay, the guy gets 3 sacks. At what point in time do you say, you know what, Jason, you're not going to be able to get out, or you're going to have to chip your way out, or we're going to have to slide the line that way? You don't do it at 3 sacks. You don't do it at 4. You don't do it at 5. You do it at 6. Well, the game is over then.
Yep.
I just think the thing is, Skip, is that they didn't do Dak a very good, and I believe Dak moving forward, he's learned a lot this year, Skip. I believe Dak will be that guy. But when you have a young guy and you're a run-dependent football team and they remove that piece, guys around you have to make plays. I remember when John Elway would go out and Bubby would come in or backups would come in. Ed Ross, we got to step our play up. That's not John throwing us the ball, that's putting the ball where we need to turn and make plays with it. We got to make tough catches.
Yep.
Well, the Cowboys this year, Skip, they didn't make tough catches. Who on the offensive side, with the exception of Zeke Elliott, puts fear in you? They're not worried about you taking the top off. Dad's not going anywhere. Jason Witten's not going to beat anybody down the seam. Terrence Williams hit a miss. They didn't play Bryce Butler a whole lot. So what was Dak supposed to do? But I do believe moving forward, he will gain confidence. He will go back into the lab, which is film study, and he'll see what they did because that's what they do. We make you play to your weakness. But the really great ones, they reinvent themselves every year. You don't think they try to make Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers play to their weakness? Absolutely. But I'm going to play to my strength, and I believe Dak will do that moving forward.
So, I am greatly amused by everything you just said because I pretty much agree with everything you just said, but
I still gave him an F.
You gave him an F at the end of the year.
I sure
so,
did.
Joy, did you just hear everything he just said?
Yep.
But he gave him an F despite all those things. So, I'm going to suggest to you that you sometimes fall into the trap that I try to avoid. And that trap is the longer you do this job, which is not playing football, it's talking about football, that you have to be somewhat careful to keep an arm's length from the people you talk about. Because if you tend to get close to them, which we're all human, and if you get in their force field, you tend to get sucked into their force field, and you start thinking, Dak's a really good guy, and maybe I was a little hard on him. So you've seen Dak at the last two Super Bowls, right? And you happen to be on a flight back to, I guess, to L.A.
L.A., yeah.
That troubles me that Dak was flying back from the Super Bowl to Los Angeles, not to Dallas, but to Los Angeles. Is that correct?
It should concern you that he was flying back at all on Super Bowl Sunday, because he should have been in the game.
Oh, he should have been in the game. Okay, I'll accept that. Touche. But you soften a little bit because you're around the guy, and he is a good guy. By all accounts, everybody who's been around him says he's quality, he's class, he's solid, he's built to the right stuff that you can build around.
Right.
Okay, so the next point of amusement for me is that we have pinned this topic on my man, Ron Jaworski, who I knew very well in my days at ESPN, but I knew him all the way back to his days with the Los Angeles Rams, the first go-around when he was the Polish Rifle, a second-round draft pick out of Youngstown State, who had a big arm and a huge mouth. And he still can talk, and yet he now bleeds green because, as we all know, he did quarterback the Eagles to their first ever Super Bowl appearance, Super Bowl 15, back after the 1980 season. They lost that one to the Raiders. But Ron still lives in the Philadelphia area, and he still is a co-owner of the Philadelphia Soul Arena League team, and he is an ambassador for the Philadelphia Eagles, who just obviously won this year's Super Bowl.
Correct.
So he's now speaking about the arch-rival Dallas Cowboys, trying to put their quarterback in perspective, and he says he lost some confidence. Well, this is where you and I do part ways. I do think Dak lost some confidence. But before I launch into that, I must launch into this. Speaking of Dak being on your flight back to Los Angeles, what troubles me the most right here, right now, and I'm going to say this publicly and I'm going to stand by it, what troubles me the most to the point of scaring me the most about Dak Prescott as he enters year 3 in the NFL, he's got way too many national endorsements. And it is horrifying to me that he had sort of a sophomore slump year, and I'll get into all the reasons why. You detailed a bunch of them. It wasn't all his fault, but he did not play as well as he did his rookie year. And yet, all of a sudden, I'm looking at 12 national ads that he has. I'll just whip through them real quick. New Era Beats, Campbell's, Tostitas, Pepsi, 7-Eleven, Nicholas Air, which is a private jet company, AT&T, DirecTV, Panini Playing Cards, Dan and Yogurt, which he got from Cam, as you remember, over that controversy, and Adidas. I just hit 12 national ads that Dak Prescott does coming off a no playoff year.
But think about this, Skip. How many of those are also sponsors of the Cowboys?
Probably a lot of them, and yet I didn't even get into his local ads. I'm doing national TV ads, and I'm just going to guess that he was on your flight back to L.A. to do some taping of some commercial. Is that possible? I don't know that for a fact, but to make some sort of appearance, right?
Let your boy get some of them beats in that Campbell soup.
Well, hey, okay, again, but I'm good with all this as long as you can earn it first. You know, you got to live up first, and then you should enjoy the riches of your success, okay?
So you'd like to see him study more, do less ads, and once they start winning consistently, challenging for Super Bowls, have at it.
That first year, he came out of nowhere, obviously, as a 4th-round draft choice out of Mississippi State, overlooked, underappreciated. I didn't think a whole lot about it. I loved him for that year, his junior year at Mississippi State, but I wrote him off. He wasn't even in my consciousness until that 3rd preseason game went against the Rams here at the Coliseum. He lit it up, and that's when our man Eric Dickerson said he was on the sideline saying, who is that, and what is he doing? And you could just see the poise, the presence, the command. Romo goes down, and the rest is first-year history. I still say he had the best rookie season of any quarterback ever. I think it's inarguable, but he's got nothing to show for it because they did lose the home playoff game. Whatever happened, he played great in the game, but they lost the game. So now he has played in one playoff game in his life, and he lost the one playoff game. And for a myriad of reasons, they were pretty awful last year. And they lived down to expectations last year. And now he's doing all those ads This is Super Bowl quarterback winning sort of ads. And that happens when you are the quarterback of America's team. Am I right?
You're right.
So I'm scared about that going into his third year because I'm not sure the focus is exactly where it should be. And is he out there throwing day after day to Des Bryant? I don't think they're that close. I know they put on a good game face publicly and say all the right things about we love each other, blah, blah, blah. I don't think they love each other. I don't think either is really committed at this point to refiguring out how to reestablish a wavelength. I don't know if Des is going to be with the team. I hope he is not with the team. But as you concur, last year he went from a strength to a liability, right? Mm-hmm. He couldn't separate from single coverage last year, and that hurt that quarterback the most.
Right.
That offensive line, I'm sorry, it underachieved dramatically last year. It was a shell of what I thought it would be, and Dak's sacks didn't go up dramatically, but they went from 25 up to 32, and it seemed like he got sacked 20 times at Atlanta.
Well, he gave up 8 in one game.
That's what I'm saying, okay? But it seemed like even more than 8. And you know and I know, if you get blindside sacked enough times, you'll lose some confidence because it doesn't feel great, man. You keep getting knocked down when you can't see it coming.
Skip, the reason why I say didn't lose confidence is because think about this. Now, he came in with Carson Wentz and Jared Goff. He sees these guys having great seasons. He sees the playmakers around him. Todd Gurley was Zeke Elliott rookie year. That's what he sees. That's what he sees.
Okay.
He sees Alshon Alshon going over the top.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
He's like, well, hold on. Dan, do you see what Alshon's doing? Do you see what Robert Woods? Do you see what Sammy Watkins is doing?
Okay.
Hold on. What about the offensive play calling? Do you see the plays Sean McVay and Doug Peterson's calling? Whoa, where's my that at? So now I got confidence in me, but I'm throwing the guys that I can't get separation.
Okay, I told you, off Carson Wentz's first year, I thought he was not very good.
Right.
And Howie Roseman, that GM, went out and got him not one, but 2 new running backs.
Yep.
And he went out and got him 2 new receivers who were really good to pair up with the one that he did have.
Absolutely.
So they had 3.
Yep.
And that offensive line, I know Jason Peters used to be really good, but Big V, when they stuck him over there, it started to click. And I'm not sure there was a better offensive line in football over the last few games than the Eagles.
I'll give you that.
They protected him at a high level.
Yes.
And obviously the defense was already pretty loaded anyway. And I'm not saying it's an all-time great, but it was pretty good. All these things benefited Carson Wentz, and then they continued to benefit, obviously, Nick Foles.
And you look at the Rams, Skip. Look at Jared Goff, and for all indication, people thought like, oh man, this dude a bust. Little did we know they get Sean McVay and his creative genius and Todd Gurley's offensive player of the year. And look at the way that offense was moving. Finished last in points last year before.
Yep.
Now they're first or second in points. And Dak is looking at that. Hold on, these guys, I was better than these. I was rookie of the year.
He was.
Not them.
But Doug Peterson emerged last year as a play caller.
Yes.
And on the national stage, he had a coming out party. He's been around for a long time.
Yes.
Nobody really knew it. But he was the driving force of that offense because he didn't just do it with Carson Wentz. He kept doing it with Nick Foles at an even higher level.
Has anybody ever had 2 better games calling than the championship and the Super Bowl that Doug Peterson had?
And Scott Linehan did not have a very good year. And I've never been a big Jason Garrett fan. Again, I know him, so I like him personally. We're back to falling into that trap. I just have never loved him as a head coach. I wish they would cut bait and change the scenery, change the voice in the locker room, because he's just Coach Clap. That's all he does is clap and he butt slaps. You know, he's really good at that, and that's about it. And he keeps doing the same thing every day over and over and over again, and it doesn't jumpstart the football team. There's no fire and edge to this football team when it needs to get jump-started. Cole Beasley completely disappeared because Dez was getting single covered and he was suddenly getting doubled inside. And they just took the security blanket away. Jason Witten scares nobody, to your point. He's very good, but he's not a threat to hurt
Down
you.
the field, nope.
Nope. And Terrence Williams had an off year given the money that they gave him, which is why Bryce Butler sat right here and said it's all about the money. You know, you got to follow the money. He's not getting the money, Bryce Butler. He was the only threat they had, and he didn't play enough. And the defense missed Sean Lee for 6 games, and you can laugh at me all you want, but I can show you the 6 games he didn't play that they suffered, especially they collapsed in the second half. Obviously, Zeke missed 6 games, and yet when you say the team is built around the run game, here's the shocking stat about last year's Cowboys. they were still second in the NFL in rushing, second overall to Jacksonville. Well, wouldn't you say that's pretty good?
But see, all rush yards are not created equal. Zeke instills fear.
He does.
And because they have nobody to take the top off, if you look at Philly, you can't just sit there and say, okay, we're going to stop LeGarrette Blount. We're going to stop this run and Jay Ajayi, because they'll throw the ball over the top of your head.
They will.
Well, you can't just sit in there and say, okay, we're going to stop Todd Gurley, because they'll throw the ball over your head to Woods and Watkins.
Yeah.
Well, because the Cowboys do not have anybody that can get over the top, the majority of the defense is in the box. We're not going to let you run the ball, Zeke. I mean, Cowboys.
Yeah.
And we do not believe Dez Bryant can get behind us. We do not believe Terrence Williams can consistently get behind us.
Because they know they can't.
Okay, so
it's not even a belief. It's like, we know they can't. We dare you.
yeah, because so Dak is like, hold on, I know I can throw this ball. You heard him say it, Skip. I guess I got to put the ball in his face mask to make sure he catches it.
That's a strong statement, but it's an accurate one.
I throw it to him, he drops it.
Yep.
I throw it in his direction, it gets picked off. So what am I supposed to do? But you keep instructing me, and my reads tell me they drop this guy down in the box. Dez got one-on-one coverage. Regardless, if he's your number one receiver, I don't care who's on him. He's supposed to get the ball because he's the guy. He's making the most money. So Dak is like, well, wait a minute. Y'all looking at me sideways. What about this guy? You give me nobody that can get down the field in a hurry.
So did I see Dak during that losing stretch in there, Atlanta and the Chargers and Philly?
Yes.
Did I see him lose some confidence? Yeah, I did. My eye test says he was starting to force it. He's starting to look a little desperate. He's starting to lose a little pocket poise. He's human, man. He's got nothing to work with. That's what I kept saying.
But who is he forcing it to, Skip? Because Dez can still do it. Dez is telling you he can still do it.
Yeah.
And so, and the reason, because here's the thing. Dez caught so many jump balls, the 50-50 balls that Romo would give him an opportunity to. But age and attrition, the knee injury, the ankle injuries, has taken its toll on Dez's body.
No doubt.
So now he's not as talented, explosive as he once was. So now he's just a guy. So the 50-50 balls, they get knocked out or they get picked.
Okay.
So what's that? Dak's like, what am I supposed to do? You keep telling me to throw it to him.
Despite all that, and you did give him an F for the season,
Yeah, I did.
Dak Prescott, his QBR, again, scale of 0 to 100, it fell from third in the league his rookie year to fourth last year. And that's an F?
Yeah.
I don't think that's an F.
What about them wins?
But, well, by the way, if we do that, I'll go you one better on QBR.
Okay.
If we do only the quarterbacks who played 600 or more plays, that's going to eliminate walk it to him Wentz, and it's going to eliminate Case Keenum because they didn't play the whole year.
Yeah.
If we just do quarterbacks who played the whole year, it's Tom Brady number 1 in QBR and Dak Prescott number 2 in QBR. So don't give me F. That's not an F season.
Okay, how about this, so Skip? You keep telling me he only dropped a little bit down in QBR. Can you tell me about that win total? Did that drop? What about the completion percentage?
Yep, it fell. Confidence fell. But the turning point games, I'm going to show you again, were the 2 games after they went 2-1 in their first 3 games, which included the debacle at Denver, which was a bad sign. I should have known it. You should know, going forward, if you see a team that you picked before the year in game number 2 get annihilated, unless it's New England and Tom Brady, because they're built differently. Their psyche is different. They need that kind of a game. This team lost its edge and its confidence at Denver. It left whatever it had in 2016 on the field, thanks to Trevor Siemian and the Denver defense and those pick sixes, and it was that kind of day that they never quite recovered from. But they did go to Arizona on Monday night, the next game, and they won, thanks to Dak Prescott. And then they get 2 home games against a Rams team that we didn't know was that great yet, and Aaron Rodgers. Back-to-back home games. Dak didn't play well in those games. He played great in both games, both of them. He had a QBR of 78 in the first one, threw 3 touchdowns, and had a QBR of 97 in the second game against Aaron Rodgers and threw 3 more touchdown passes. Zeke played in both games. So to your point, they had Zeke, and he had 85 yards rushing, and then he had 116 yards rushing. So it was enough. So the formula is there, and they have nice, comfortable halftime leads in both games, and they get the doors blown off them in the second half. Sean Lee didn't play in either game. And that's really the end of the year. From there, they're just desperate. They're scrambling. They're trying to make it up on the fly, fix it on the fly. The offensive line is wrecked usually with Ty Smith is injured, and that's a big concern going forward. I don't know if they're going to have Ty Smith. I don't know.
I told you limping it. I said Skip that back.
He limped in and he limped out. He did.
Joe, you see what Skip does? Skip, like, he wants to come to class every day and get an A just for showing up. That ain't how I do it, Skip Bayless. Now, you can have all the confidence in the world. Oh, I'm going to ace this test and still get a failing grade.
But I showed up for class every day, and I aced every test.
Me
so
too.
how are you going to beat that?
I showed up every day too, Skip, because you know.
That's where the girls were.
Yeah, they going to get their homework. They gonna get.
But you didn't apply yourself.
I did.
You didn't always apply yourself.
I didn't. I did once I got to college.
Like when you finally figured it out, you said, hey, wait a second, I better do this.
I mean, in high school, come on, Skip.
Yeah.
Apply myself, you don't enjoy it.
You cruise through?
Yeah. I had me a nice little briefcase. I show up to school with slacks on.
See, Joy, he knows now he has to apply himself. Every night he has to do all his homework or he will get exposed.
Nah.
Yeah.
Nope.
Now you're studying?
Yep. Now he studies.
I study more now than I have in 8 years of high school and college.
Yeah, and it shows.
No mercy.
Hey guys, Joy Taylor here. Before the show moves along, I wanted to tell you that support for the Undisputed podcast comes from our friends at Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. They understand that home plays a big role in your life and family. That's why they created Rocket Mortgage. Rocket Mortgage gives you the confidence you need when it comes to buying a home or refinancing your existing home loan. It's simple, allowing you to fully understand all the details and be confident you're getting the right mortgage for you. Whether you're looking to buy your first home or your 10th, with Rocket Mortgage, you get a transparent online process that gives you the confidence to make an informed decision. It's convenient. Our trusted partners allow you to share your financial information with Rocket Mortgage at the touch of a button. And in addition to getting a real mortgage approval in minutes, you can even adjust the rate and length of your loan in real time to make sure you're getting the right solution for you. Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. Apply simply, understand fully, mortgage confidently. To get started, go to rocketmortgage.com/undisputed. Equal housing lender, licensed in all 50 states, NMLSconsumeraccess.org, number 3030.
No mercy.
There's still a lot of concern in Indianapolis over franchise quarterback Andrew Luck's shoulder.
New head coach Frank Reich said he's hopeful Luck will be back in time for offseason workouts in April. And yesterday, the quarterback gave an update to Peter King on his health. Let's take a listen.
It's been a long journey. To this point, and it'll still be a long journey till hopefully we get what we need to get done in Indianapolis. The rehab has been hard at times. The one thing I know in my heart is that I am getting better and I feel great. I'm extremely optimistic. It's been fun to see myself improve. So I'm really I couldn't be more excited for this offseason and for our new coach, everything that's happening and where the direction of the team is going.
Is it unlikely, or are you unsure whether any more surgery is on the horizon?
Oh, that is not an option for me right now. I feel very, very good about where I am. So that ship has sailed in my mind, which is also a bit of a relief. I'm not gonna lie.
Shannon, what's going on here?
Joe, I'm just so positive about the direction the show is going in. I just can't wait to continue this. It sounds like Andrew Luck is trying to convince himself.
I agree.
He had this surgery in January.
Yep.
Here we are, February, 13 months later. And what we didn't hear, Skip, is that he's still in the process of trying to get the shoulder strong enough. I would have hoped that they would have to temper him back, that he's ready to full bore throw, but we don't want him to overthrow, but we just temper him back. He's not really even throwing yet. So this has to be a concern because we're 13 months removed and you're still not really throwing? Skip, he's missed 26 of a possible 48 games over the last 3 years.
Yep.
I'm extremely concerned. He has the most serious injury for a quarterback. That's a shoulder injury to your throwing shoulder. Mm-hmm. That has to be scary for him.
Yep.
And we thought he's going to be, he'll be ready for training camp, or he'll be ready for the regular season. And then all of a sudden they shut him down completely. So clearly the surgery, the shoulder was worse than we previously thought. But here's the kicker, Skip. Unless he alters his style of play, he's going to be prone to this. He missed an entire season with the shoulder. Remember, he missed 9 games with that lacerated kidney. He missed another game, I think, with an ankle injury. You can't play this style, what he's used to, the reckless abandon, because, okay, you'll be wrecked. It won't be no bad.
That's true. That's
and then the Colts will abandon you.
That is correct. Yep.
Man, I mean, he's like, I'm very, very optimistic, but he didn't sound optimistic. It sounds like he's trying to convince himself that everything's going to be okay. And right now in the back of his mind, he's saying, I'm 13 months in, and I'm no closer to letting this ball go 30, 40 yards than I was last year at this time. So I'm sure he's very, very disappointed.
So, before I get into the rest of my argument, I want to throw out the possibility there could be some karma operating here, or at least some karmic justice in our universe right now, because if memory serves, the last time Andrew Luck played in a playoff game, it was 3 years ago. It was a long time ago. And it just happened to be the AFC Championship game in which somebody from his organization blew the whistle on the New England Patriots for allegedly deflating football.
It wasn't him?
I don't know.
It wasn't him. How he knows?
He didn't know. It was not his doing, but somebody up in the press box, maybe Ryan Grigson, I don't know.
Well, he also said that's why I can't build a team, because I got to pay the quarterback $87 million.
Okay, well, he did, but could have been even the owner, Jim Irsay. I don't know. Somebody blew the whistle and said, NFL, go check those footballs at halftime. And since that moment, since that night, the Indianapolis Colts have played in a grand total of 0 more playoff games.
Yeah.
They have missed the playoffs the last 3 seasons. And that night, just to, if anyone's forgotten, second half of that game, Tom Brady playing with quote-unquote legally inflated footballs was a mere 12 out of 14 for 131 yards, and they won the second half 28-7 and the game 45-7.
Yeah.
And Andrew Luck had a horrible night that night. He was 12 of 33 for a grand total of 126 yards for the game with 0 touchdowns and 2 picks. For a QBR of 33 on a scale of 0 to 100, which, trust me, is not very good. So from that moment on, the Indianapolis Colts the next season went 8-8, and the next season 8-8, and then last season went 4-12. And Andrew Luck, as you point out, has played 7 games the first year, 15 games the second year, and 0 games last year. So he's played roughly a little less than half the game.
Correct.
Okay? So maybe there's some karma. I don't know. You never know how those things work. Because
you're not supposed to get karma here on earth. You're supposed to get karma in the afterlife.
I don't know.
You pay for what you did here on earth over there.
Maybe that's how it works. I don't know.
I'm
just throwing that out. It does seem a little
It don't
odd.
seem like
it seems like a lot to me, actually.
No, it doesn't.
So, Andrew Luck has never lived up to his next Elway billing. And I'm going to say it again. He has gotten a huge pass from a lot of analysts who proclaimed him the next Elway, and now they've gone quiet. And they don't say, I was wrong about that. They just don't say anything, and they wait and hope that Andrew Luck will get back to some kind of health and some kind of performance level, because he's had his moments. But as we know, he's also been a big turnover machine. He was tied for second, he was second in total turnovers his rookie year to Mr. Butt Fumble, Mark Sanchez. In his third year, he was second in total turnovers to Jay Cutler. Vanderbilt University. Not good. So, Andrew Luck has never had a QBR above 7th in the league, and he's supposed to be a top 5 quarterback. And he's always been pretty good, but he's never been, is it fair to say, that guy? And I said it then, and I'm going to say it again now. Jim Irsay made the biggest mistake. I said it on the day he did this. Biggest mistake of his NFL career he was making, and I first guessed this. To push Peyton Manning out the back door while patting him on the head and thanking him for all he did so that he could draft Andrew Luck and make Andrew Luck the next Peyton Manning. Has Andrew Luck even come close to living up to Peyton Manning in Indianapolis? No. He has not. And did Peyton Manning go on to success in Denver? Yeah, he did, because those years in Denver, the Broncos go 13-3, 13-3, 12-4, 12-4 with the 2 Super Bowl appearances, and obviously Peyton, and he didn't carry them to the last Super Bowl, but he did his part for them to win the last Super Bowl.
He made the throws that he absolutely had to make.
And he should have been the MVP the first year in Denver, and he was the MVP with a record 55 touchdown passes his second year. So I'd say that's pretty great, right?
Yes.
And Andrew Luck has not been pretty great. And I'm going to say this again. I've never thought, and I said this before his draft, he had a great feel for football. Obviously, he's got big-time talent. He's prototype size. What is he, 6'3", 250?
Like 6'3 and a half, 6'4", 2, yeah.
Maybe 260. I don't know. He's a big kid.
He's a big man.
All right. And yet, I've always felt like he would try too hard. He wants to be the coach's dream. He'll stand in the pocket way too long trying to throw home runs. He will take hits he doesn't need to take that Peyton never took.
No.
Because you know and I know Peyton knew how to get rid of the football.
Absolutely.
And Andrew Luck will take off and run, and he will not get down. He'll try to play linebacker. He'll try to run over linebackers.
Exactly.
And what are we seeing now? We're seeing broken down. So Jim Irsay thought Peyton Manning was broken down and would not recover. Peyton's doctors are saying, nope, we think he's got a chance. As you point out, there was a point where he couldn't even lift his right arm, right?
But here's the thing, though, Skip. Jim Irsay is relying on his medical staff.
Yeah.
Because if I'm not going to listen to him, why am I having you on my staff? Why am I paying you if I'm not going to listen to your advice?
Yeah.
Those doctors told him that the likelihood of Peyton Manning coming back is not very good. Now, you had a $26 million option to pick up. Skip, that's a lot of money. Way back then. Now, $26 million is not a whole lot of money now. But way back then, Skip, that was in 2012.
Yep.
That's a lot of cheese. So I have no problem with that. Andrew Luck was always going to be up against it, Skip, because Peyton Manning won 4 MVPs. He took that team to 2 Super Bowls. He won 1. And he has a floor at the Children's Hospital in Indy named after him. He turned a basketball town, state, into a football town. They were about to leave until he came onto the scene. So that's what Andrew Luck was up against. How was he going to get out of that shadow? Aaron Rodgers was in a similar situation, but Aaron Rodgers won 2 MVPs. He went to the Super Bowl. So, I mean, you know, you got like, okay, Aaron, Brett. I mean, for the most part, people say I'll take Aaron Rodgers over Brett Favre because he doesn't turn the ball over like Brett did. Andrew Luck is up against it, trying to undo what Peyton.
But remember, when he walked in the door, he was blessed by everyone. Yeah. They didn't like him. They loved him.
Yeah.
Again, I was an RG3 fan. I thought RG3 could be a little better than Andrew Luck, and he was for 1 year, and then we know the rest was real history. But in Andrew Luck's case, he had a much bigger arm than Peyton ever had.
Yes.
He was a bigger man than Peyton, even though Peyton was a little taller, but he was stronger. He was Paul Bunyan-esque. Yes. And he was much more mobile than Peyton ever thought about being. And so everybody, well, he was John Elway,
yes.
right?
Because
from Stanford.
Skip, he's one of these guys, and Peyton was the same way. You just take him out, no assembly required. You take him out the box, you let him go play. Peyton, you took him out the box, you let him go play. Andrew Luck, you take him, sometimes you got to add batteries. Sometimes you got to give him 5, 6, 7 games, maybe even a year to get the, no, he was ready to go play because he's always played in the pro-style offense at Stanford. He played in the pro-style offense in college. Same thing with Peyton Manning. So they were ready to go. There are a lot of, think about what you're following. You don't want to follow the man. You want to follow the man that followed the man.
Unless you're the man. Sometimes you're the man.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just step in and say, watch this. I got this.
Yeah, I mean that's few and far between.
Yeah.
Because no matter what Steve Young was doing, he's not going to do it. Joe went to 4, Skip, and with those MVPs. And so, like I said, Brett and Aaron Rodgers is a little different. But you following Peyton, Skip. You following Peyton Manning, 4 MVPs, and what he's done, the way he's all the lines, all the calls, and all this going on. That's what you're up against. Peyton was beloved. No one wanted to see him go.
Except Jim Irsay.
Jim Irsay.
Yeah.
And so they kind of, Andrew Luck, if you wasn't in the draft, we'd have kept him.
You know, I think there's a little Brady Belichick going on where, not that I'm comparing Jim Irsay to Bill Belichick, but I think there was a little bit of, okay, I won one with Peyton. I need to show the world I can win one with Andrew.
Well, no, it might be karma for Jim Irsay, because remember, we got this guy, all those Star Wars numbers, those are fine, but I want some of these.
I want more of those.
I want.
Right?
What do you want? I ain't seen nothing lately. See?
I haven't even seen a playoff appearance.
No.
3 years, and now I'm seeing a young man with a broken down body because he's got a bunch of injuries, including the worst one, as you say.
Normally, as you get age, Skip, you don't get healthier. Yep. If you're broken down as a young man, you're going to be broken down as an old man. So unless they fix, I fought the general manager because they're getting all these shiny toys. They drafting Philip Dorsett. They're going out and getting Andre Johnson. Okay, you got tellers. Those are tellers, blank tellers. Who guarding the money? Who guarding 12? Lions just getting ramshackle.
Well, I'm sure this is all deflating for Indy fans.
Stop
right?
it, Skip Bayless. It ain't got nothing to do with that.
No mercy.
The NFL draft is exactly 9 weeks from tomorrow, and our friend Joel Klatt has released his first mock draft on FoxSports.com. Here's the top 6 picks according to Joel. He has Sam Darnold going first to Cleveland, Saquon Barkley to the Giants, and defensive end Bradley Chubb to the Colts. The Browns are taking Alabama defensive back Minkah Fitzpatrick with their second pick of the first round, and the Broncos are going with Baker Mayfield, and Josh Rosen falls all the way to the Jets at 6. So, Shannon, let's start with your Broncos. If they don't get Kirk Cousins, should they take Baker?
I don't believe they will. I believe John likes more prototypical quarterbacks. The history of the 98-year, about to be 99-year history of the NFL says 6 foot and under quarterbacks don't normally pan out very well. 6'7" or above, they don't pan out very well. So you want to be somewhere in between. John likes buttoned up. John was buttoned up. He had Peyton Manning who was buttoned up. What he doesn't like is a quarterback that comes with what, Skip? A lot of distractions, remember? You know what I'm talking about, right, Skip? So I'm just saying. No.
The one who carried him to a
Stop,
division
Skip!
title?
You know what, Skip?
And a playoff win?
Oh, Lord. have
Way to
mercy.
go.
You ruined everything, Skip.
You opened the door, I ran through it.
I do not believe that John Elway with the 5th pick will take Baker Mayfield. Even
though their staff requested to coach him in the Senior Bowl,
I mean, you
right?
want to get a close look at him, like,
Okay.
hey, he's shorter than I thought. I mean, come on TV, he's shorter. I'm like, good.
Oh.
Did you down there?
Oh.
But anyway, Skip.
By the way, he measured 6 feet and 3/8 of an inch at the Senior Bowl. But go ahead.
Yeah, and you know what, Skip? Had he not had all the off-field distractions and
Yep.
some of the antics, he would have been compared to Russell Wilson. But because of some of his off-field and some of his antics, he gets compared to Johnny Manziel.
He does.
Which is rightfully so.
I agree.
The problem that I have is that analysts are trying to move heaven and earth to try to excuse his transgressions. But these very analysts ripped Cam Newton. I mean, killed him. But Baker, he loves to win. He's just such a competitor. His teammates love him. I guarantee you Cam Newton had a lot of Auburn teammates that love him. Johnny Manziel had a lot of teammates that loved him at Texas A&M. Skip, I'm not, look.
Don't lump me in with those analysts because I have
No.
killed Baker Mayfield and I loved Cam. Go ahead.
But
Okay.
the thing is, Skip, like when somebody does something off the field,
Yep.
you call it. You don't like, hey, he's a kid. Well, hey, what the hell? They make it seem like Cam was 30 at Auburn. He was a kid when he got in trouble at Florida. And some of his antics rubbed people the wrong way when he was at Auburn winning the national title.
Yep.
But
I think it was more of his daddy's antics, but go ahead.
that's just competitive
Yep.
fire. Man, stop it. I don't believe John will take him. I don't believe at 6 foot tall, John wants more prototypical. He wants more buttoned up.
Okay, so question is, no Kirk Cousins and no Baker Mayfield. Does he take
Josh Allen.
Josh Allen?
Yeah.
Not Josh Rosen, but Josh Allen.
Well, if whomever.
Okay, where does Joel have Josh Allen going 13 to Washington? Wow. Okay.
But
So not Josh Rosen,
but
right?
Skip,
Who's
let me-
going in this mock 6 to the Jets.
Skip, let me ask you a question. Why, if you're Washington and you just gave $75 million guaranteed to Alex Smith, why would you draft a quarterback? Wouldn't you draft pieces around him? Maybe get you a wide receiver, maybe offensive line, maybe a defense. I mean, but that's Washington, so I'm not surprised. Skip, I just don't see it. And I could be wrong. John might be just sitting back there like, yeah, I'm going to take this kid. I just don't see it. I just don't see a 6 foot quarterback. And for every Drew Brees and Russell Wilson, I can name 5 guys that didn't have success at 6 foot and up.
Okay. So I'm going to quickly start at the top of Joel's draft here. Sam Darnold, I'm good with him going first overall to Cleveland, even though I'm not completely sold on any of these quarterbacks.
No.
Because Sam Darnold started making lots of mistakes last year, and what happened with Jameis Winston, his last year, especially his last year at Florida State.
He brought that to the NFL.
And he brought it right into the league, and he can't get rid of it. And it bothers me, and it's starting to bother me a little more about Sam Darnold because he became a mistake maker last year, right?
And it
he would
bothers
fumble
me.
it, and he would throw it to the other team.
And he's a USC quarterback.
Okay. I don't know, but do I like his makeup and do I like his delivery and all of the prototypical, the measurables?
All the measurables,
I like
there.
I like
Yeah.
all that. Do I like Saquon Barkley? Do I think he's Ezekiel Elliott? Not quite. I don't see that, and I watched him a lot. Does he have Zeke potential? Yes. So are they really, the Giants, going to stick with Eli for 3 or 4 more years?
Well, Mac says he got 3 or 4 more years in
All
him.
right. Okay, so if that's true, I'm sort of rooting for that as a Cowboy fan because I don't fear Eli at all, and I'm not sure I would fear Saquon as much as I do Zeke, but that would be a nice upgrade for them and put them somewhat back on the map. So we go down then to the next quarterback is Baker Mayfield versus Josh Rosen at 5 or 6. I'm going to remind you what our man Charlie Weiss said the day after the national semifinal game, sitting in this seat right here. Charlie Weiss, who coached that guy, what's that guy's name? Oh, Tom Brady, that guy up in...
Oh, you mean to tell me somebody could coach him?
Yeah, he coached him in his first couple of years when he actually needed a little bit of coaching. He was
really?
a very young quarterback in those first couple of Super Bowls.
You know, LeBron came at 18. He ain't no coaching.
No, and so did you just try to put LeBron James in the same
Yeah,
sentence with Tom Brady?
Make your point.
This man, Charlie Weiss, came in and just slammed his hand on the table and said, I don't care about any of those other quarterbacks. I want that one, number 6 right there in the crimson and cream of the Oklahoma Sooners, because he said, whatever's inside him, I can't coach it and I can't teach it. And I do agree with that. I got my issues. I got my off the field. I got my height issue. But he is mobile. He is somewhat elusive. He can make some plays in the pocket with his feet. He's not fast down the field, but he can escape.
Right.
And he is a high-risk quarterback who doesn't make mistakes. It's a weird combination, but he is a gutsy gambler, and he doesn't throw many interceptions, and he doesn't lose the ball fumbling very much. He doesn't suffer sack fumbles. So to me, I'm going to stay. I said this yesterday. I'm going to drive it home. If I'm the Denver Broncos, I'm saying that kid, Baker Mayfield, will have a better long-term NFL career than Kirk Cousins. So if it comes down to that's your choice, and I don't know if it will, but because Kirk Cousins is obviously the huge X factor in this draft board right now. I don't know what to do with it because I don't know where he's going to wind up.
Right.
I mean, he could be a Cleveland Brown for all I know.
Absolutely.
Okay? So wherever he lands is going to mess up the order here.
Yes.
But if it does, for John Elway, come down to Baker Mayfield or Kirk Cousins, if that is the choice right here, right now, I'm betting on Baker Mayfield because he's also a little bit of an overachiever, as I say Kirk Cousins is, but Kirk Cousins is an underconfident overachiever who's never there when you need him at the biggest moment, and this kid will rise and shine.
Did you see him against Georgia?
Didn't love. What have I said to you?
Did you see the year before that?
Which game are you talking about? I watched every snap he took at the University of Oklahoma. Which game are you talking about?
They took the L's.
Yeah?
So I'm waiting on him to show up in the big games.
Oh, he's played a lot of big games, and Big 12 games.
They don't play Skip. Really?
Yeah.
I mean,
he lost to Deshaun going back 2 years ago. Is that what you're talking about?
How you like the quarterbacks coming out the Big 12, especially with Oklahoma? You like Sam Bradford?
I said before the draft that's a bad idea. I said, and I laughed out loud when he got $50 million guaranteed.
Yeah.
I used to call him the scarecrow in the pocket.
Yeah.
You just touch him and he just tilts.
And what about the one that got drafted by Cleveland, Oklahoma State? So how these Big 12 quarterbacks? Yeah, how they working out, Skip?
I don't think you can ever condemn a conference. I don't like that. You have to take them one at a time and say, okay, you can say, is he a product of that system, the sort of run and shoot that they're running?
Everybody play the spread set,
right.
And then when they come into the NFL and you got to get up under that center.
I'm just telling you, Baker Mayfield has a big live arm. He is deadly accurate, and he has whatever that competitive fire thing is. Can you contain it on the football field? Can you trust that he won't turn into Johnny off the field? I don't know. I'm just saying on the field, he will be better than Kirk Cousins, who I'm going to tell you one more time. Kirk Cousins is 26-30-1 as a starting quarterback. He's 4 games under 500. This kid, again, I didn't love him. He didn't come up big against Georgia when it mattered. Late in the game with 48 seconds left.
A freshman did.
Yeah, but
a true freshman.
Yeah, but that defense is pretty great, right?
But why you need a defense when you got Baker? You have him a trophy winner.
Well, did you see what he did to that defense in the first half? He threw for 200 yards just in the first half.
Hold on, Joy. I thought they played football in 4 quarters.
Huh.
Shannon
Sharpe was sitting somewhere in his place.
No, you weren't.
Up there in Brentwood, sitting back after the first half saying, I got to go in and talk about this.
I had them old banana and grape woods on deck. Yo, I was cool because I know what was going to happen.
Yeah.
Sonny Michelle and Chubb Rock
started
started running. Chubb Rock started.
Yeah, it was a defensive mismatch, but Baker Mayfield kept them in that game.
You better be glad y'all didn't see Alabama.
You're scared to death.
You better be glad you didn't see Bama.
You better hope that John Elway doesn't take Baker Mayfield, because then you're going to be stuck having to talk about him day after day, and you're going to have to root for him whether you like it or not, unless you root against the Broncos.
No, I ain't root against the Broncos.
Okay, we'll
All
see.
them free meals I be getting at Airways, I couldn't dare do that.
Can you imagine that helmet being orange?
No.
Yeah.
Skip, white, look. We haven't had great success with Oklahoma players. How about that?
Well,
I mean, Chief Wahoo McDaniel played for the Broncos.
yeah?
Yeah, he went to Oklahoma, didn't he?
Yeah. That's a long time ago.
I'm okay. You can pass on him. I want the Dolphins to take him.
Uh-huh.
Hold on, y'all
you know what?
you got
He
Teddy
tweeted
Hill.
something about
Y'all got Teddy
Miami,
Hill.
here I come, or
Stop.
something.
Hold on, y'all got Cutler.
Stop.
Whoa. He Vanderbilt's finest.
He kept him afloat last year.
Afloat. Yeah,
He
you know
beat
what
Tom
else
Brady on
You know
Monday
what
Night
else
Football.
float too, don't you, Joy?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
No mercy.
Hey guys, it's Joy. Before the show moves along, I wanted to tell you about an exciting new project here at Fox. Fox Sports Films is excited to present the second film in the magnified documentary series Shot in the Dark. The film is executive produced by Dwayne Wade and Chance the Rapper and set against their hometown of Chicago. It's hailed as a New York Times Critics' Pick. The documentary follows Orr Academy's high school basketball team, and it stars Taekwon Greer and Marquise Pryor as they aspire for greatness under inspirational head coach Lou Adams, while facing the hardships off the court that threaten to claim their future. So check out Shot in the Dark this Saturday on Fox following the Villanova versus Creighton basketball game. Now let's get back to more Undisputed.
No mercy.
The Cavs are heavy favorites to win the East, according to Bovada, despite being behind the Raptors and Celtics in the standings. LeBron and the Cavs have won 3 straight since their massive overhaul at the trade deadline, including big wins on the road against the Thunder and the Celtics. We're joined now by Professor Rob Parker.
What's
Professor
happening?
now, huh?
Good morning.
Wow.
Well, after 6 weeks, it's kind of
It's
in,
6.
right?
It's official.
Gilligan's Island professor.
But we were at the Jordan party
Yes.
Friday night. Shannon, Chris
Chris
Broussard,
Broussard,
the 3 of us were there. And let me tell you, this mansion was unbelievable. But Shannon, you saw those pork chops, the lamb chops that were all over Skip. Guess how many I had?
Like 15.
No, there wasn't that many.
Okay, 10.
10.
I'm sorry.
It was 10.
You had 10 lamb chops?
Yes.
delicious.
Because it was like on a conveyor belt. So
Right,
they
they
didn't have
just kept-
servers, and so it just keeps coming around. So they had like filet, they had lamb chops, they had chicken tenders, mac and
Right.
cheese. I'm like, Rob, for real, Rob? I mean, other people want lamb chops too. He just kept getting them,
You
Skip.
realize that red meat's not good for your heart.
The lamb chops are good, though.
All right.
And and I wasn't paying for them.
Well, right.
El Cheapo.
Listen, can't turn down free food. How much pressure is on LeBron now after all these moves?
A ton of pressure, and you know this. Here's the thing. LeBron better pipe down about ranting and raving about these guys, even though I think because the playoff time, June, is about stars, not about role players. I mean, he's making such a big deal. Hood, Hill, Clarkston, Nance. Woo. I mean, Skip, he's going to go into the finals against the Warriors with the Cosby kids, basically. And
Oh, so you are saying he's going to get to the finals?
yeah, he's going to get there, but it's not going to be enough. Only because I don't have any confidence in the Raptors. Boston's not there. They're not there yet. So when you look at it, there's going to be added pressure to LeBron because he's talked up these guys who are role players. You need stars in June. You need Kyrie's 28 points against the Warriors.
Yeah.
You need a guy like that. And don't tell me, well, Kevin Love's going to come back. We've seen the Kevin Love act. We've seen LeBron. Think about this. Kyrie averaged 28 points in 13 postseason games against the Warriors.
Yeah.
28. LeBron had a triple-double last year, and they still lost in a 5-game sweep. So now you're telling me you
It's
don't.
not a sweep.
It is a sweep. Because that one game they got lucky and made all those shots. That was the only game they won.
What about the game they got unlucky and couldn't hit a shot?
Well, they were bad. All I'm telling you
Y'all
is.
two read around each other.
No.
I had no idea.
I'm
You did.
telling you.
No.
This is going to be a bad look for him because it'll be another loss, and then the excuse, Skip, will be, what do you want me
Oh,
to
so
do?
you say LeBron has a built-in excuse?
Yeah, he has
now?
a built-in. This is a built-in excuse. These guys,
Because I don't
who he's
have enough
raving,
help?
he's raving about now. But when they shrink come postseason championship time, then he'll say, "Oh, you expect me to win with Clarkston and Hood and Hill and without Kyrie?" I'm telling you,
I mean-
this is going to be a bad look for him. But that's why I'm saying he needs to tone it down pumping these guys up, winning
Pumping them up.
3 meaningless games during the regular season.
Put the
Celtics were
games up.
struggling. Who else did they beat? They beat Charlotte. I'm not Charlotte. They beat OKC.
Oh, OKC any good?
Well, they had.
What about Boston? Boston any good?
No, they're struggling. They've lost 8 of their last 14.
Of course they're struggling. That's what we do. We put that stranglehold on them.
just
So that's
telling
what
you.
you struggle.
LeBron is going to look bad.
I see what y'all two do.
I'm not doing anything.
Yes, you are.
You don't lump me in with Professor.
Yeah, I know what y'all. Because here's the thing. This is how y'all do LeBron. If he gets to the finals, there's nobody in the East. Oh, Gordon Hayward was hurt. Oh, do you think y'all have any confidence in Toronto? It's never. I already know how y'all do it. Now, no one ever said, "Oh, the East was so tough." The East wasn't tough when Jordan was playing. How many Hall of Famers was on that Knicks squad? 1, Patrick Ewing. How many was on Indiana? 1, Reggie Miller. How many was with the Miami Heat? 1, Zoe Morning.
I think Mark Jackson's a Hall of Famer. That's just me.
Okay. And if he,
I think Charles Oakley has Hall of Fame impact.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
Skip.
Skip.
He is.
Skip, stop
absolutely.
it. LeBron went through the Celtics. How many of those Celtics are going to be in the Hall of Fame? Will Ray Allen, Kevin Garnett, and Paul Pierce, will any one or two or all three be in the Hall of Fame?
Yeah, but that's the only team you're bringing up. I want to go through the rest of the East.
Okay.
What are you talking about? The East right now is paper thin. You know it, Shannon. There's nobody there.
See,
the only reason he's made the 7 straight NBA Finals is because there's nobody there.
I love how you guys do it. You think physicality made it great because it was a hard nose. You come down the lane, we put you on your butt. But stop doing that, Rob Parker. You know the Knicks wasn't any good. Neither was the Pacers.
The Knicks were really good.
They were not.
They had a chance. They had Michael Jordan
Had
down
a
2-0.
Had a chance.
I covered every one of that 7-game Pacers series. You're talking about 1998?
Yeah.
With Reggie Miller and Mark Jackson and Chris Mullin and the Antonio and
the Davis. They
both
weren't brothers,
but they had
was
2
the
Davises.
boys. They called the Davis boys.
And Rick Smits was huge
They were
and
a
long.
good team.
And Derek McKee. Are you kidding me? That team was like, it went 7 full games.
And then LeBron in the finals, he's facing the Spurs, 4 Hall of Famers. The Warriors, 4 Hall of Famers.
Wait, this is the same guy who laughs at the Spurs every day.
But they're Hall of Famers.
broccoli. They're broccoli.
They got the best-
Shannon, when it comes to the Basketball Hall of Fame, you're probably in it too. You're probably in both Hall of Fame. Everybody gets in the Basketball Hall of Fame.
Is Tim Duncan not the best power forward to ever breathe?
Well, I think so. You don't.
I do.
On any other day, you'd say no.
I said best power forward. Now, he's the best, hands down. I mean, what are we talking about here, Skip? I mean, the guy got 3 Finals MVPs, 2 regular season MVPs. He's like an 8, 9-time all-defensive first-team NBA, 10-time first-team offense. So we know what Tim Duncan represents. That's what LeBron has to face in the finals. The Spurs, 4 Hall of Famers. The Warriors, 4 Hall of Famers. Get through the Celtics with 3. Rondo was on the Hall of Fame arc also, Skip. You know that.
He's not a Hall of Famer.
I said he was on one before he got hurt, yeah.
I thought we were talking about this year's pressure on LeBron, and you were changing the subject again.
Does he have pressure or not?
He's LeBron James. He's always going to have pressure. He's one of these, like Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady. Does Tom Brady not have pressure every year to get to the championship? Of course he does. That's what we expect.
So, to shatter the point you tried to make to start off your argument, I completely and utterly disagree with every point Rob Parker just made. I am on the opposite side of this. What did I tell you the moment we were on the air live after the trade went down at the trade deadline? What was my first comment to you? No more excuses. Dan Gilbert, Executive of the Year. He went out and flipped the Kyrie trade back on its head.
I still don't know how he did it.
He changed everything. He changed life in Cleveland in the final hour. One fell swoop, he got rid of every problem in the locker room.
Yeah.
I don't know how he did it. Isaiah Thomas gone. How did he do that? How did he get rid of Isaiah Thomas? Jay Crowder out. How did he get Rodney Hood? It's a guy who destroys my Spurs in the clutch. He's one of the great clutch shooters off the bench, this side of Lou Williams. So you end up with the 2 most explosive bench players, this side of Lou Williams, all of a sudden coming off your bench. And they know their roles because they love that role. That's all they ever do is come off the bench.
And we got Larry Nance that's going to play defense against
Larry Nance is a talented overachiever who only plays the right way, and he's a great teammate, so he's a great fit. And George Hill, who was a Spur and played in a whole lot of big playoff games and has been there and done all this, he will not choke under pressure. I don't think he's a great player, but he's perfect for LeBron.
How many championships did those guys bring with them?
Okay, well, George Hill's been in the middle.
No, but I'm asking how many did they?
Okay,
Zero.
okay, I got that.
What about the Knicks? How many did they have?
No, but those players were better.
Yeah,
Okay,
whatever.
but
I don't see the role
what did
players.
Okay, I got you, but they didn't get a star back. But they got a lot of firepower back that fits in every slot that you needed to fit it in. And furthermore, Dwayne Wade, how sweet was that? To get him back to Miami?
Yeah.
That was sort of the icing on the whole cake. Is Dwayne gets to go home.
And got D Rose out of there. Because
got D Rose out of there.
Because you think about
and by the way, the bottom line to this, the punchline is they kept the Brooklyn pick for next year to keep LeBron there.
But are they closer to winning the championship now?
Way closer. They turned life around. They were in danger of missing the playoffs before this trade got made.
I never looked at it like that. I thought there was plenty of time for them to get righted. They were playing awful, led by LeBron James.
They were
playing
had
terrible.
Big locker room issues.
Big.
Right,
but
they're no
But it was a small problem.
They're
It
no
was a
closer,
small
Shannon,
problem.
to winning it. They're no closer to the Warriors. They couldn't.
Rob,
LeBron and them couldn't beat them with Kyrie and Kevin Love. Now you're going to tell me they beat them with George Hill?
What did your eye test tell you about they threw all this? I thought it would take a month or so to figure it out. What happened right away? They have to go face their Eastern Conference rival at Boston. And what did they do to them?
What they do, Rob?
They destroyed them.
Was Kyrie playing?
You're talking about a regular season game in February.
Hey, I'm
you're
just
being
saying.
a prisoner of the moment.
No, I'm
Skip.
not.
Yes,
No, I'm
you
not.
are.
And then check
Over
this
2
out.
or 3 games against
Wait a minute. This isn't a moment. This is a 3-week period in which, at home, you got embarrassed by Russell Westbrook and the new Oklahoma City Thunder.
Because LeBron wasn't playing. No, he wasn't.
Well, he was there.
But he didn't play. He had pulled out.
It was 148 to 124.
Correct.
And in 3 weeks' time, you go to their building in Oklahoma City and you destroy them with your new team.
them.
And it looked like the new team had been playing together for 3 years instead of 3 days.
That's what LeBron do, Skip.
Okay, well, I'm going to give you this. That's a basketball team.
Yeah.
And again, Kevin Love is not even playing. He's an all-star now. He is a star. And
Kevin Love's played before against the Warriors, Skip. All I'm telling you is...
Remember, he's not there yet.
This is nice. You guys want to go crazy about regular season games. I'm telling you, they're no closer. If they couldn't beat the Warriors with LeBron averaging a triple-double, Kyrie averaging 28 points, shooting 40% from 3, he had 3 or 4 40-point games against them. You're now telling me this team is better?
This is a better, deeper
They might be
basketball
better
team.
than the team that started this season, but they're no closer to winning a championship. And I'll sit here right now and tell you it'll be the same thing. Either a 4-game sweep or a 5-game sweep. The Cavaliers will not, and OT, Shannon, will not beat the Warriors.
I love how Rob talk about, it's like a meaningless game.
It is.
But you hark back to, LeBron was playing terrible.
He was.
It's a meaningless
Skip,
game.
did he not have the worst plus-minus in the whole league?
For
for
19
now
games.
you care about
6
plus
weeks?
minus. You normally write down, Skip, what does that even mean, Skip?
I don't know.
This joke is
So, you know what I loved about this? Is that you didn't have to trade any of the pieces
No.
that I liked. You kept Tristan and you kept JR. These guys can play. They've been at the highest level.
And those guys also lost the championship to the Warriors. They were there, Skip. All the guys
Kyle
you kept.
Korver, and you kept the guy who's been playing the best all year, Jeff Green.
Correct.
So all of a sudden, look how deep I'm going.
deep.
You're going 10 deep with the quote-unquote best player on the planet.
Skip, are they going to beat the Warriors, yes or no? That's what
I give him
wanna
a
hear from you.
50-50 shot, and I gave him no
Skip,
shot.
That's 50-50's nothing. Give
Well,
me
I don't know. I gotta
I
see.
need more than that.
Well, I need to see
Everything's 50-50. Give me
No, it's not.
Tell me a 70-30 one way.
Well, I just made the case, and you weren't here the last topic, but the Warriors aren't quite the Warriors of last year.
It's a regular
They're a little-
season. They
okay,
don't need
we'll
to.
see.
They've been there for 3 years, going on 4. You
What
know
about
it's
the-
hard
what
to
about
get
the Cavs?
motivated, Skip.
What about the Cavs? You didn't say that they've been there before. You just said, it's a meaningless regular season game.
No, because they're trying to beat the champs. They can't beat them.
They can't beat them until they face them. So what about them? Oh, yeah. See, it's a meaningless game. But it's so much you
Shannon,
add
you know my what? You want to lay something on the line for this?
Whatever, Rob Parker.
What's doing?
What do you want to bet?
Shannon's betting $1 billion these
Come
days.
on.
So.
I don't care. Something big.
Sizzler.
Sizzler?
Yeah.
Sizzler, I like that. A lamb chop?
How about a lamb chop dinner?
Yeah.
I was embarrassed, Skip.
Okay, I am on the record. LeBron James has no more excuses.
LeBron doesn't make
You're saying
excuses.
he's got a built-in. I say no more.
He's got a built-in excuse. All LeBron fans will say, What? He doesn't have Kyrie and then Isaiah Thomas, who's supposed to be the big star. He doesn't have them, and you want him to win with Jordan Clarkson. That's exactly what they're going to say, Skip.
I just want to ask you one time. Michael Jordan went 6-0 in the finals. Name the team that was as stacked as the Warriors or the Spurs.
Doesn't matter. It's a different time. LeBron got beat. You know why they're stacked? Because LeBron stacked his team, and it wound up being the most ironic
did he do it before
twist
the
of fate.
Did he do
That's
it
what he did.
Did he do it
no,
before
the
the
Celtics were a trade. They gave up players to get players. It was a trade.
Did you really?
How long was Kevin Garnett in Minnesota? 13, 14 years? It wasn't in the prime of his career. It was at the end of his career when he went to Boston.
If you don't mind me asking, Rob, how did they get there? Did Kevin Garnett get drafted by the Celtics?
No,
what about Ray Allen?
It was at the end of his career.
And LeBron James, they did the sign and trade. That's how they got all.
No, but they left in the prime of their careers. It had never been done in the history of the NBA. Ever.
All I'm saying is, did Jordan?
He's 3-5 in the finals, soon to be 3-6.
About to be 4 and 5.
3-6.
4 and 5.
Lamb chop dinner.
You ready to put it on it?
4 and 5 lamb
All right,
chop.
we finally got him to do
As a
it.
matter of fact,
wait, you just did it? You
Yeah.
just bet on
I want
LeBron?
my lamb chop from New Zealand.
Wow.
I want you to go to New Zealand to get my lamb chop.
No mercy.
The Warriors are currently a half game behind the Rockets for the top spot in the West, but Steve Kerr says everything is fine in the Bay Area. Before the All-Star break, Kerr called out the team's focus, but he says that now that might have actually helped them. He added, in basketball, you sort of have to lose yourself in the game. I don't feel like we've done that enough. We've had too many nights where we've gone through the motions, and yet I understand it, and I'm very confident we've gotten through the woods a little bit and are primed to really take off. We're joined by NBA champ and LeBron's former teammate, Eddie House. Welcome back, Eddie.
What's up? Thank you for
Good
having
to have you. Eddie, what do you expect from Golden State the rest of the way?
I expect them to be playing championship level basketball. This is the thing, they got 24 games left, and it can get monotonous at times for them, especially they're trying to make a run to go to 4 straight. So you've been around this group of guys for pretty much the last 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
You get your 2 months off because you're in the finals. It goes deep into June. You get your 2 months off, and during that 2 months, you're out traveling the world, going to basketball seminars overseas and things like that. You never have an opportunity to let your hair down, relax, and take a break from the game. You constantly, and then you around, you know how it is when you're around your brother all the time, y'all get to fighting sometimes, and it's the same thing with them. These last 24 games, I expect their attention span to go up a little bit more, to ratchet it down on their defense, because they kind of slipped a little bit. That's one thing they always been, is a very good defensive team, plus they can shoot the basketball. So I expect them to be ready. I think this All-Star break was one of those great things for them, to be able to press the reset button, kind of take a deep breath, and then come back for these 24 games.
Where's go?
I am not seeing the same Golden State Warriors I saw last year, and I'm not sure I'm going to see them all the way through the finals. I think they're a little more vulnerable than they were a year ago, when they took what should have been an incredible strength, a huge advantage of, we got Kevin Durant, and turned it into a chip on their shoulder. We'll show you. We'll show the world. It was like us against the world, because we got Kevin, and everybody condemned Kevin. Now he's our guy, and we're going to protect and defend his honor, and we're going to show you we can win with Kevin like that. And they showed me, and they showed LeBron, and they showed you, because Kevin rose above the finals. I was shocked by it, that he could look that pressure in the eye on the national stage and play at the supremely high level that he played to be the finals MVP. And they did it, and they did it in dominant fashion, and then it was over, and they're having a hard time getting it back. They're not playing with the same chip on their shoulder. They don't have the same edge. I get you about the dog days. Pre-All-Star break, they were in the doldrums, and they were mad at each other, and they're mad at the world, they're mad at the referees. They are running away with the lead in ejections for the year. They've been ejected 9 times between Draymond and KD. The next team is Memphis and New Orleans. They're tied with 4 ejections. So you can see that they're always mad at the referees. It's always the refs' fault. No team goes after the refs the way this team does. So Steve Kerr was trying to break the tension by letting Draymond and whoever, Iguodala, run
David
the
West.
huddle. Yeah, letting them do it, just trying to shake it up a little bit, because as he said, we are mentally fried. Now he says they're poised for takeoff, which is what he needs to be saying right now. Schedule's easy. They should take off some. But I'm not seeing the same basketball team because they are now third in the NBA in turnovers, not turnovers forced.
Giving it the ball away.
Mistakes. Yeah, they're giving it away, the third most rate in the NBA. Wow. That's Golden State, the team that shares the ball. They've been sharing it with the other team way too much.
But Skip, you remember in the finals that they lost, Steph got really careless with the basketball.
He did, but he does.
They were down by one. What was it, down by one? And he come behind the back, throw the ball.
It's terrible.
I'm like, why would you do?
Hey, he was terrible in the All-Star game. I know it was just the All-Star game, but you want to talk about careless? He had 6 turnovers in the All-Star game.
I'm not overly concerned with them. Skip, if you remember last year, it was nip and tuck between them and the Spurs. Had the Spurs not lost 4 of their last 5, they probably would have been the number 1 seed. But they lost 4 or 5, and they ended up getting.
Had the Spurs not lost Kawhi Leonard in the third quarter of Game 1, it would have been the Spurs in the finals. Now you're flipping around saying the Spurs are broccoli. They're garbage, right?
The Warriors.
They had them by 23 in the third quarter. Are you kidding me?
But that
it was
3-point
over.
That
it was over.
3-point shot, though, man.
That's
before you know it, it could be 5 minutes and you down.
Okay,
3,
but you know what?
4.
This team still, to this day, it lives and dies by the 3.
Yeah.
So what happened in the All-Star game? Steph went whatever he was, 3 for 11, and James
Clay.
went 2 for 13. And okay, if that happens, you can beat them.
Yes.
Is it going to happen over 7 games? Probably not, but they're more vulnerable than they used to be.
But that's the thing, though, Skip. You look at what they're up against. They have 2 of the top 5 players. They got 4 of the top 25 players on one roster, and you got to beat them 4 times over a 2 weeks period.
Are they playing like 2 of the top 5? I don't think they have.
Skip, I mean, Steph is averaging 26.5, and KD is averaging 25.
Okay, in PER, player efficiency rating, they're 5th and 6th, Steph and KD.
That ain't bad.
Okay, it's not bad.
That's not
No,
bad
but I'm
at
just
all.
saying, but in defensive efficiency, remember when they broke through and won their first championship,
Right.
they were number 1. Last year they won, and they were a tick behind the Spurs at 1A.
Right.
Now they're 5th in defensive efficiency. And to your point, okay, now they need to ratchet it back up and lock it back down. I don't know. I'm not seeing the same Golden State.
Think about it, though, Skip. You mentioned they're 5th and 6th in PER, and you know they can play better. So now they go back to their customary spot 1, 2, 2, 3. Then what? They blowing people off the. I mean, because think about it, last year they only lost 1 playoff game, so they blitzed it. I believe it'll be a tougher time this year, especially because we got that. I'm so hood.
Okay, so which you already picked? You picked LeBron's new team to beat this team, right? Okay.
Hold on. Who knows? Houston, James Harden, Chris Paul said, wait a minute. Skip Bayless, why you keep discounting us?
I'm
That's the only
discounting.
I
I'm
think
writing
that's-
them off.
I won't write them off because I think that's the only team that can really compete with them in the West for this reason. And they have 6 guys that can knock down the 3. That you could consistently trust them to knock down the 3. And
you consistently trust them in a Game 6 against the San Antonio
you know,
Spurs?
you never know until they do it. I mean, their track record says no.
What
Their
does
coach's
the track record
says
say
no.
about Chris Paul in the playoffs?
It's
As
the
much
same
as I
thing,
respect
James,
him.
It's the same thing with Mike D'Antoni, what
Yep,
he does in the
I
playoffs,
agree.
his team.
Yep.
But it all can change. And the way they got confidence, they're playing better defense than they ever played before.
And Clint
I'm
Capella
saying that's probably the
making
only
himself-
team, but I still don't see him getting past going. You got KD over there, arguably the 2nd best player in the league right now. I mean,
Right now, the only thing Golden State has going for it is there's no real competition in the West. That's just me.
Oh, it's
And
competition.
there would be huge competition if the Spurs were healthy and Kawhi were happy. They're better. They're deeper than Golden State. I love the Spurs if they ever get healthy.
You know what, Skip?
If they get LaMarcus healthy and Rudy Gay healthy,
But
this
hold on,
team is
hold on.
loaded.
I mean, what else you want
It's
them to
loaded.
Hold on. Wait a minute.
healthy.
You like LaMarcus in a Game 6? You like LaMarcus in a Game 7?
I like
No, you
Kawhi in both those games, and I like the depth. I like Ginobili in those games.
That's another thing about Golden State. I'm not sure about their depth. I don't think their bench is as good as it
I
has
totally
been
agree.
in
I
the
agree.
past few years.
They got to get Bell back. If they get Bell back, they'll be
But I
fine.
don't think he puts them over the top as have better bench
Nah.
than they ever
Are
had.
you rooting for him or what?
Who?
See, you're rooting for Golden State because you do want LeBron to have some excuse.
Oh, my
Right?
God.
That
I'm
is
not
exactly what.
Yeah.
that's
I'm
exactly
not
what
rooting
it
for
is.
anybody.
It is.
Skip.
It's funny.
I mean, I like KD. I like Steph.
You vacillate. One
You're not
second,
rooting
you're over
for
here.
anyone?
No, I mean, I have a vested interest.
Yeah, you do.
In Braun.
Yeah. That's your only interest.
What? No, I like a lot of teams. I like
We know
Kyrie.
that.
Yeah, we do know that.
We know that.
I like Kyrie.
I'm going to say this one last time.
We might link back up with Kyrie.
Do not write off my San Antonio Spurs. If
Y'all
they happen
done.
to get healthy.
Skip,
Y'all
y'all
can't hit the three like they do, man. That's the separation. Is the
But
three-point
y'all
shot.
can play defense and can defend.
Golden
the
State can
three.
play D too.
Yeah.
Y'all ain't got
And
no-
you gonna see
if y'all had
Kawhi.
How was my team up 23 in Game 1 of the West Finals?
Because we took y'all for granted. Because we wanted to make it.
But then look.
Oh, now you're a wee Golden State?
In 4 minutes, y'all was only up 3.
Kawhi got hurt.
No, it was bang, 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 bang,
No,
bang.
it was not.
Yeah, it was.
It was
three
not.
after-
Bang,
it was
bang,
three
bang,
after
bang,
three
bang,
after
bang.
three after three.
Zaza, a cheap shot. That's what it was.
It was
that
three
not the
after
most
three.
cheap shot you've ever seen?
Yeah, that was low down.
Yeah, low down.
Yeah. You got no answer for him.
For
That
who?
35.
I got lots of answers. You know what? The Spurs are too long for that team.
Or I tell you what, if you got an answer for 35, I need to know the question.
You watch. Kawhi's got an answer for him.
Don't do that, Skip.
He can if
No.
he's healthy.
Why got to get on the court?
Well,
Yeah.
he's got a
He
mysterious
want out.
thigh injury.
He want out.
Yeah,
He ain't want to go to
it's
Cleveland.
called psychosomatic injury. That's
He
what
says
it's called.
he wants to go to Cleveland.
Well, maybe he does. I don't know.
Because LeBron's leaving?
No.
No.
Yeah, he's
I
the
don't-
new LeBron.
No, Skip. I told you. Dan Gilbert, hey, Bron, I'm doing this in good faith, bro. I'm going to get you Rodney Hood. I'm going to get you George Hill. I'm going to get you Clarkson. I'm going to get you Nance Jr.
He did.
I'm going to show you. And we're going to make a power move.
Yeah, I'm going to get rid of IT just for you, LeBron.
And Derrick Rose.
Well, he did.
They got better.
Hey, thanks for
Way
joining us.
better.
Yeah.
No mercy.
Thanks for listening to the Undisputed Podcast. I'm Joy Taylor. We're back at the same time tomorrow morning, 9:30 Eastern. We'll see you then.
Fox Sports. One of one.